Wow, oh wow. And to think that I almost missed this fight card. My goodness. My goodness. That ended with a freaking bang. So, Tuivasa, Ciryl Gane went to war. Also, Robert Whittaker and Marvin Vettori went to war. Two fights that we are going to focus on today. You guys can go check out the rest of the card. It was a really, really good card. Very exciting fights overall. Happy that I didn't miss it. And the time of the card was also pretty convenient, so good for the UFC on that. But man, let's start with Robert Whittaker and Marvin Vettori. Going into the fight, I really didn't have any like fight prediction per se. Like I didn't really look into the fight. I didn't have time to do that, so I didn't have any educated guesses on who I thought was going to come out on top. My initial thought going into it, just initial straight up, just raw feeling, was that Marvin Vettori would probably end up winning the fight. That was the thought that I had. But again, not an educated thought, had zero justification behind that thought. Going into the fight, though, of course, the two things that we paid attention to, one being Marvin Vettori's durability, his ability to take a shot. The man has demonstrated that multiple times against Ciryl, against the likes of, Izzy twice, against the likes of Paulo Costa at 205. He's shown that he can take a freaking shot. And so, one was, will Robert Whittaker be able to hurt him? Now, two, Robert Whittaker is finally going to be fighting 3 rounds as opposed to a 5-round fight. And he's going to be facing a guy who's a bit more hittable than Izzy, right? And when you have someone that is more hittable, someone that Robert Whittaker can actually find, if he can find you, if you stand in front of him, if he reaches and he can hit you, the man is ridiculously very dangerous. So my curiosity was, Rob is going to have a guy that he's not going to have to work too hard to find on, as opposed to like Ciryl, for example, where it's really, really tough landing clean on Izzy. And with that said, how is his power and just how dangerous he is? How would that translate to a guy in Marvin Vettori who's known for being able to take a shot? And boy, did we get our answer. Round number 1, the fight started off a little bit even. Marvin Vettori, took the center. He was pushing the pace. Rob finding his range, landing ridiculously dangerous front leg side kicks to the knee. I mean, obliques, front leg side kicks, hyperextended the knee, very, very solid leg kicks. Very good boxing, very good movement. I mean, he just seemed so freaking dangerous, man. I mean, there's really not much I can say besides the fact that Robert eventually found his range. And especially in round number 2, he turned it up. Round number 2, he showcased that there was a huge, huge skill difference between both of them. And Marvin, on the other hand, when the way the man fights, I expected to see him wrestle more, because I thought that he would definitely have to employ more of a wrestling heavy style to beat someone like Rob. Trying to beat Rob on the feet, you got to be like an elite striker to be able to do that. And the guys that we have seen defeat Robert Whittaker on the feet were elite strikers: Stephen Thompson, Ciryl Adesanya, for example. So I thought Marvin was going to wrestle more and actually chain the wrestling, because again, Rob does a very good job of defending takedowns, but Marvin didn't really shoot as much as I thought he would. He would shoot, Rob would of course defend the first shot, and then he would stop. And so it just stayed the same exact way. Robert Whittaker doing nasty things to him on the feet, rocked him a few times, rocked him with a head kick, rocked him with a cross. At one point, rocked him with a freaking left hook. I mean, he was just blasting the guy all over the place. By round number 3, he was completely in control of the fight, controlling the pace, so relaxed. I mean, that's when it's like you forget just how good Robert Whittaker is, because again, he's facing Izzy, and it's so hard to find Ciryl. But then when you see Rob against someone that doesn't move as much, someone that he can actually find, you're instantly reminded, like, holy crap, this is a dangerous guy. And, at the end of the fight, of course, Robert Whittaker won. He talked about being the most dangerous guy in the middleweight division. He talked about how he makes fighting not fun for these guys. And, man, I see it. I mean, every time he gets into a fight with these guys, he's one of the guys that there's a very good possibility that not only are you going to get hurt, but like you might need to go to a hospital when you're done fighting Robert Whittaker. I mean, I believe he broke one of his opponents. He broke his wrists. I'm like I'm forgetting who it was, but I know Robert Whittaker broke one of his opponent's wrists, and this was from a head kick. And I mean, we all know Robert Whittaker does that 1-2 into a roundhouse to the head. He does that very, very well. And he was also throwing the same exact sort of kick. That was Jared Cannonier. Yeah, broke Jared Cannonier's forearm with a roundhouse to the head. And he's not the only guy that Rob has actually hurt, like badly hurt in a fight. I know he hurt Kelvin Gastelum. I believe he was trying to repay Yoel Romero when he rematched Yoel Romero, because Yoel Romero really hyperextended his knee multiple times. But just in general, my point is, Rob is such a dangerous guy. Definitely. If there was any doubt that he is number 2 in that weight class, there's no doubt right now. It's Izzy, and then it's Robert Whittaker, and then it's everybody else, man. Honestly. And there's a very good chance those two guys are going to meet again. Then again, but. There's someone else lurking. There is someone else lurking that we don't quite know. Like, we're going to find out, right? We're going to find out. We're talking about Alex Pereira. We're going to find out what that man is all about when he's done fighting Izzy. He might be the number 2, but we'll see. I think after this fight with Israel, we're really going to see. Anyways, moving on to the main event, the fight that really brought the whole entire fight card together. Of course, we're talking about Ciryl Gane versus Tai Tuivasa. I really wish I would have uploaded the fight simulation that I did for this fight, because a lot of shit that happened in the simulation actually happened in this fight. And I was sitting there like, oh, you kidding me? Is this actually going to play out exactly as a simulation? It didn't, but some things in there happened. The body shots, the head kick, the drop. I mean, it was shockingly accurate. So going into the fight, of course, I've been saying that there's a similarity between Tai Tuivasa and someone like Derek Lewis, right? And that similarity, again, I made it very, very clear that I am not saying that Tai Tuivasa and Derek Lewis are the same in skill. Clearly not. Tuivasa is more skilled than Derek Lewis. But if we were to group fighters, right? If you look at the heavyweight division and you were to put fighters in groups, right? Stipe Miocic, Alexander Volkov, Ciryl Gane, dude, my brain is not freaking working. Stipe Miocic, Alexander Volkov, Ciryl Gane, you would put them in the same group. Like, these are fighters that are fleet-footed, they have good striking, they move very well, solid jabs, and then you would also group a fighter like Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa. You'd put them in the same group. Powerful guys, kind of, you know what I mean? But they can put you away with one clean shot. And so in that sense, I compared Tai Tuivasa to Derek Lewis. And I was saying that a very similar game plan that Ciryl Gane used to beat Derek Lewis could also apply to Tai Tuivasa. What's the game plan? Well, use your jabs, long-range weapons, stay on the outside, move very well, chip at the opponent, just break him down, and when there's an opening, you get him out of there. Fight starts off, and that is exactly what Ciryl Gane is doing. Chipping at him. Jab. Teep to the body. Leg kick. Move. Jab. Teep to the body. Leg kick. Rinse. Repeat. Just repeating over and over again. It's the same pattern. And I believe, I'm like drawing a blank on what round it was, but Tuivasa is, he's staying in the fight. He's moving forward. He's moving his head very well. He's actually countering very well. He lands a few clean shots. And then, I don't know if it was round number 3 or round number 2. I'm forgetting exactly what round. It just happened and I'm forgetting it. Tuivasa drops Ciryl Gane with a right hook. Boom, flattens him, drops him. I jump out of my chair like, oh my God, is this happening? I mean, I genuinely did not think that Tuivasa was going to be able to come anywhere close to hitting Ciryl Gane clean enough to hurt him like that. But he did. Sits him down, gets on top, tries to finish. Ciryl is able to survive. It was a bad drop, but not bad enough to where he wasn't able to recover, which of course is a testament to his conditioning and his training and all that. And right after he gets hurt, he lands was it a roundhouse to the body, and Tuivasa's body is hurt. I mean, the man is like, he's holding his belly. I don't know what it is about, like, these fighters with like big bellies. In some ways, it's almost like you would think that the belly fat would cushion the organ so that if they're getting hit to the body, it doesn't hurt. But like, it seems like it does the opposite. I don't know why. Someone maybe look into that, because same thing with DC. I mean, John was hurting DC to the body over and over again. That was the game plan that Stipe Miocic also used to stop DC in the second fight, body shots. And of course, the same exact thing happens to Tai Tuivasa, and Ciryl keys in on that. Oh, okay. There's a path to victory right here. You got a hard head. Trying to stop you with shots to the head is not going to work. Now I'm going to switch to the body. And that is exactly what Ciryl did. The upcoming next round focused on the body, worked his body over and over and over and over again, and just constantly hurt Tuivasa. But the beautiful thing about the way Ciryl was fighting was, like, he wasn't obsessive with it, right? He would go to the body, then go back up to the head, then to the body, then to the... He was very intelligent. It wasn't obsessive. It wasn't, oh, shit, like, oh, your body is fucked. Now I'm just going to do nothing but, like, get reckless and target your body recklessly. No, he was still very patient, very cerebral, very calculated. And by hurting him to the body, he was able to go to the top, hurt Tuivasa badly, and stopped him. And man, I remember just sitting there like watching it. I'm like, man, this is what happens. This is what it looks like when someone is outgunned on the feet, man. It can look brutal like that. The fighter just chips you away, and you're waiting for them. You're praying that they get reckless, because you're not as skilled as they are, but you've got this bomb in your hand. And like, oh man, like, it's a Hail Mary. I know. I've already rocked them earlier, but man, if he can please just get a bit reckless trying to finish me so I can swing this bomb at your head and stop you. But not Ciryl, man, not Ciryl. Patient as always, stayed technical, and won the fight, man, in front of his crowd with everybody excited. Man, what a card. What a dope card. What a dope main event. What a dope co-main event. I don't know where these guys go from here. Of course, there's a very good possibility that Ciryl is now the official number 2 in that weight class. I don't know. I don't know. It might be Ciryl. It might be Stipe Miocic. I think both of them might need to fight before we figure that out. Of course, there's Jon Jones lurking in the shadows. I mean, who knows where Jon Jones will stand in the heavyweight division? I don't freaking know. All I know is that weight class is very exciting right now. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing who they're going to pair up against Francis and Gane next. And, yeah, and then we'll go from there. Anyways, that does it. Thank you so much for watching this fight recap. As you can tell, I am still on cloud 9 excited from that card. If you enjoyed it, go right ahead and leave a like on the video. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about the card. And I will see you guys later with another one. As always, stay safe. Peace out.